the genius behind bringing us the amazing cast of Fruitvale Station, Southside with You, and the Gabby Douglas story. I'm here with Twinkie Byrd. She is directed and written and produced an amazing short film. We're going to talk about it here. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's iTalk Movie.
You ready? You ready? Hey, fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. And as the song says, we shouldn't have to keep saying that in 2017, but fight the power. Hey guys, I am Chae Jones. You can find me at @RealChae Jones on Twitter and Instagram. And I am with the cast and creator of The Counter 1960. You guys want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tracy Twinkie Byrd, director, writer, producer of The Counter 1960.
What's up? I'm Etienne Maurice, and I play Franklin.
Hey, I'm Jerrod Haynes, and I'm Joseph.
Well, first, I want to say congratulations to you. This year marks the 20th anniversary for you being in this business.
Yes, being in this business in Los Angeles. Yes, 20th anniversary. Being in this business altogether, it's 27 years.
Wow.
I know, and I'm
But
only
you were born in
28.
1991,
I
right?
know.
25,
Since
same age.
birth, yes.
Well, you definitely aged very gracefully.
Thank you very much.
So you have been nabbed as having chosen extraordinary talent in this business. How does that feel? How does that make you feel, knowing you this gift you have?
I'm thankful for it, first. I'm thankful for my gift, and I'm really thankful for the people around me who support me in my gift, because, I didn't have to do it. I could be in a 9-to-5 job, but I had friends and family and awesome parents who said, go after it, and they supported me in it, even when I wasn't making any money. I lived at home until very late, all of that great stuff, but I was able to get into this gift and to really hone it in music video, and then move to Los Angeles in 1997 and do my thing.
You do it well.
Yes.
Because you started as a casting assistant on Moesha.
I started,
music videos
yes,
first, but when you moved
music
to TV.
videos. When I moved to television, I was a casting assistant on Moesha, yes.
Which
was my
which
dream
was
job.
Amazing show. I still am upset about that finale.
We never even got a real finale.
Right? You could have gave us a real finale. We don't know what happened.
I remember
RJ,
that day on
RJ.
set, too. It was really sad. I remember it. I was like, Mommy, we're not coming back to set anymore. Yeah, so that was my connection to Twinkie.
His mom.
Because my mother, Shirley Rouse, she played Dee on
And
Moesha.
she's fabulous.
Yes. Shout out to Mom.
You're
Mommy.
also an unsung.
Yes,
with her
I
as
was.
well.
Yeah, that because it's easy to talk about my mom because it's my mom. So everybody's like, "What's it like having a famous mother?" I'm like, just like how you have your mom. I have mine. My mom just happens to be on TV.
Well, that was gonna be a question. What was it like growing up? Did you know growing up how legendary your mom is?
Oh, definitely. I definitely, with all the photos of Dream Girls and Moesha all over the house, I definitely knew this was a thing in the 80s and the 90s, But yeah, no, my mom has been a big supporter throughout my career. I went to school in Philadelphia. My mom, I wasn't going to be just an industry kid, she made sure that I was going to go to college and get my degree. Went to Drexel University for film and a minor in theater. So then I moved back out here to LA 2 years ago. And just really getting it on and cracking. And I'm just happy to have the opportunity to work with Twinkie. And it's too crazy how it just comes full circle, So, Twinkie is like a close family friend of ours. So it was like,
I
so as soon as she
remember
called.
on the cover of Essence magazine laying on his mother's chest.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute.
We're doing this right
I'm
now.
sorry.
Yes, a little bit. We have to. We have to bask in it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
Yes,
It is
but
all
yes, I
love.
remember them running around, him and his sister, just running around as kids through the house, and now he's a grown man and very talented.
I miss the 90s, man.
I think we all can say we miss the 90s.
Really, really
There was
do.
nothing like the 90s, truly.
The 80s were good. I had
I think maybe because I'm a 90s baby, maybe that's why.
Yeah, without a doubt. But there's just something so genuine about the 90s that I miss so much.
I miss the
man.
movies, the
She said
music.
like the 80s.
I mean, I love 80s rock. I give it up for the 80s.
Yeah.
The clothing, however, I
She's like rock.
cannot
Yeah.
subscribe to the
Clothes.
clothing. No.
Yeah.
The wool sweaters, Lord. No.
in the 90s.
In the 80s.
What?
Here you go. Don't get us started.
First of all of your little ripped up jeans are 80s jeans.
Right.
Okay.
I see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Every decade comes from the decade before.
Yes, it
That
does.
is true.
And 2017 comes from 1987.
Oh.
She is 87. You were a good year.
Well, I think the first obvious question I have for you is, like, being a cast member, did you know you're gonna want to add director and writer and producer to your, your many bags of talent you have?
You know what? No, I didn't know. I'm honest. I did not know. I was very happy doing casting, and I still am, and I love it. But I just kind of started to feel a little like, I got a story to tell too, guys. I got some stuff I want to share. I got some things that I want to say. And I tried to, especially with this film, I tried to give it to all of my director friends. I tried to give it to my brother. He's a director, Jeff Byrd, shout out. I tried to give it to a bunch of,
amazing.
I tried to give it to everybody, and nobody would take it. It wasn't their passion. And then I took my 16-week course with Richard Lawson Studios, and that got the ball rolling for the writing and the directing. And I even had to act. I had to put, look at that face. I had to put auditions on tape and come in and audition and underneath and look at my sides and look up and look at my sides and all of that in
I didn't
class.
even know that, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was
So
it
you had
being
to-
on the other side, though? Because you're always, like right now, we're behind the desk. Like, how is
Right.
that?
Oh, it's great. It's scary. I have even more of a respect for actors and the talent. I already respect actors, but even more of a respect. When people come in off book, I'm like, oh, you're awesome. Especially when it's 5 or 9 pages of guest star dialogue. I'm like, you're so awesome. Thank you. So it gave me all the respect, but it also fueled my passion, and it got me to start directing and producing on this little thing. I started editing on my cell phone, and I'm looking at stuff and I'm looking at things differently. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll, for my final, we'll do that idea that I've had for like 10 years. We'll shoot it on my iPhone, and then we'll just go in and we'll just shoot it. And then I met Ashley Jackson. She plays Diane in the short, and Ashley was like, "No, we're gonna get a DP, and we're gonna get wardrobe, and she elevated it and took it to the next level."
Shout out to Ashley.
Yeah,
She's
shout out to
She's
Ashley
definitely a
Jackson.
force to be reckoned with. So we wish you were here, girl.
I know it. That's the truth.
She out there working.
She
so
is.
Go get your money.
She is.
We
so
all gotta
she
make it
took it to the
somehow.
next
Yes,
level.
we do.
And after that, I started to raise some money, and I knew who I wanted, and I literally cast this man in Southside with You at the end over there. He's Tommy
Yeah, he was
in
really
the
good.
film. And I
I was like, you better be like a miniature Barack Obama
I
right
know.
now.
He,
Well, you know what I mean? Like,
I'll take that.
he had that energy. He has that for me, he has that Martin Luther King kind of energy and feeling.
the
leader.
I can see it. Like,
Appreciate that.
He has that. So I waited for him. I was like, well, we just gonna wait. Are you here? No? Okay. Wait. So I waited for Jerrod. And then we pulled it together, and then I prayed for this guy, and he was available at the last minute.
It was crazy too, because I had just gotten off of doing a play about the exact
crazy.
same
Oh, at the
subject.
Hudson?
Yeah,
Yes.
at the Hudson. I was
Yeah.
I was doing Periphery, directed by Lori Hayes, written by Ed Simpson. Shout out Lori Hayes, I see you, girl. But yeah, no, I was like, wow, this is very serendipitous that I'm getting asked to be a part of this short film that's just exactly about the play that I just did. So
Yes.
it was a trip, and I'm playing the exact same character.
Yes.
So I was like, wait, you want me to play Franklin?
Yes.
Franklin from the Greensboro 4? I was like, word, let's do it. And so I was like, that was one of those things where I know God is real, but I really knew God was real
God is
when I got
great
the
all
phone
the
call
time.
from Twinkie.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, yeah, let's do
all the
this.
time, God is good.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
All the time.
That's the truth. And then this man said yes, and all of these men and women came together. Nick Few, Tabitha Brown, Ashley Jackson, Mike Pooler. Shout out to all of my
Oh,
cast.
yeah.
And they came together and they said yes, and they put their blood, sweat, and tears into rehearsals, into their input, into elevating my just low-level writer ability, because I am not a writer by any means. It was my heart on the page, but they took it. Oh.
And we all learned something from being on set,
Yeah.
you know? Definitely, without a doubt. I mean, having to beat the sunlight, you
Yes.
know, you know. And then it was funny because I remember, you know, when we were at the counter, Jerrod and I were like, all right, man, you ready? They about to start talking mess to us, because you know that time, you know, we had to reenact like.
And you had to kind of like censor yourself.
Yeah, not even we couldn't censor
Well, you couldn't
ourselves,
censor
because
yourself,
then
but-
we're not telling the
Right.
truth,
Yeah.
you know. And that's the most important thing, because these people are real people, and this did happen. For those of you who aren't aware of who the Greensboro Four were, they were 4 young men who went to North Carolina A&T, who really started the sit-ins. In North Carolina,
Yes.
at this, it was like a CVS, but it was called Woolworths, and you were allowed to eat there, and
weren't
black
allowed
folks,
to eat
yeah,
there. Yeah.
and black folks weren't allowed to eat.
were not allowed
And so these 4 young college freshmen were like, man, we're not gonna take this anymore. We're gonna sit at this counter, and we're gonna take all the mess that these white folks are gonna give us, and we're gonna be peaceful. And that was their mantra. We're gonna do that was the original peaceful protest.
It was.
And so I remember coming to set with Jerrod, and I was like kind of tense because I didn't know what to expect. Because I mean, I never had white folks, whether it was acting or in real life, like talk trash to me in my face and call me a nigga and call me all these like really derogatory terms. So I remember like on both sides, the black folks and the white folks that were on screen were like they're almost like scared to do it. But I remember even with Jerrod, didn't you have homeboys like he actually spit in your face?
Yeah, I told him, go ahead, don't. Might as well. What are you faking
Like,
for?
I was like, man, you
It's
better
good.
than me. I was like, ain't nobody spit on my face.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's one of those things where everybody just was committed to helping telling the story, and everybody gave it. We didn't take anything personal from anybody. We just wanted to tell a story, and unfortunately, it's still the same story that's being told today.
When I said sincere, I meant sincere like natural reaction to it. I should have said that because, like, I think as you know, as African American people, like now, it's still apparent. Racism is still apparent, but you know, we can say something back now. It's not where we have to keep our mouth shut, like our mouth closed anymore.
Right. We got social media now. You know, now everybody has somewhat of a voice, but now it can't just be on social media.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to make that very
Exactly.
clear. Like if we can't just talk about it, we actually have to show up and be about it.
Agreed.
You know, especially with everything that's going on in Virginia. I mean, going on around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because there's a lot of craziness going on. I wake up every morning. I'm like, yo, this is the life that we are living in America right now. Like I always expected 2017 to be somewhat of a change, and that we had made progress, but we still have so much more to go. And this is why I'm so glad Twinkie, you know, really like put on her boots and was going to and you know told this story, because this really needs. I mean, there's so many more stories to be
So
told.
many.
So much more to be told. But this is just the beginning.
Yep.
This is just
It
the
is.
beginning. I know that without a doubt.
It is just the beginning.
So I want you guys, Etienne and Jerrod, to tell me about your characters in this short.
Franklin. All right, Franklin. We played. I think what Twinkie did with the counter and Let It Be Known. We made it 1960. It's not 1964 because it's loosely based on the characters that we actually play. Because the actual event happened February 1st, 1964. So I play Franklin, present day Franklin, and future Franklin.
Yes.
And I play like kind of like the Malcolm X type, where like I'm very vocal, but I'm also very vengeful. Like I want to fight back, you know. But then I come and support my dear friend Joseph. Because I am his best friend, and that was the focus. Is you're gonna do it with the people you went to school with and people that you really rock with and really have the same vision as you. So I'm in support of Joseph, and Joseph and what was Diane, we both go to the counter. Three of us, we go to the counter together. And I'm not going to tell you too much about the short film, but as we enter into the past, you start to see that we're actually the same characters that you see in the beginning of the film. Because we start out as future versions of ourselves, and then we go back, to 1960 at the counter.
Yeah.
So.
Joseph, he's more of a guy who said enough is enough, I guess, in a sense, and he decided to go along with his friends. And people want to say he's a leader. I think it's more of a sacrifice, right? It's like, it's not about me, you know.
Yeah.
If you make it about you, you kind of on your own. So he was lucky enough and blessed to have people who thought alike on the same wavelength and felt, you know, enough is enough. What can we do? And they came to an agreement together to say, let's do this and know what's at risk. But we thought the reward was greater than the risk at hand. So that's really it in a nutshell. And today, the present Joseph is the same, but because the rules have changed, we play a different game. I don't think we've progressed. I think the rules have changed.
Right.
So it's just it's sort of like fire and light, but the common denominator is fire, right? But somebody said, I'm tired of having to blow out this candle. So they made a light bulb. So someone said, I'm tired of having to turn off the light. So they made clap on, clap off. And somebody said, I'm tired of having to clap on, clap off. So it's like when they leave out, the lights go out.
Right.
It just evolves as time goes
It's a
on.
beautiful analogy.
It really is.
That's all it is.
Evolution of it.
That's all it is.
Wow.
And we evolve because now we are in school.
Right.
You know, we are in school, we are learning.
Right.
And people are putting themselves in position of social change.
Right.
But until we can write the rules,
Right.
We gotta, unfortunately, here it is.
Yeah.
Well, the Counter 1960 is about 6 friends who are in the Deep
there's 6
South,
of them.
Yeah.
and you know they're trying to make their world better. Like, did you
are.
know, like, when you wrote this, how important it would be today?
It's always been important to me. It's been important to me. I went to a historically black college. I went to North Carolina Central University, not A&T, but down the road a bit. But it's always been important to me. My mother's cousin is Emmett Till, and that's in me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so it's always been in me to talk about it. And then in 1998, a gentleman by the name of James Byrd III was dragged to his death in Jasper, Texas. My father's name is James Byrd.
Say it again, what year was it?
1998.
I just read about that. I literally just read about that. Yeah. And
They dragged him.
Yeah,
Literally dragged his
decapitated,
body
man.
on 1998. They were just put to death in 2015, I believe it was. My brother directed the film called Jasper, Texas, about James Byrd, and found out that we were related on that side as well.
That's
And
crazy.
so these stories need to be told, and I feel like our young people and people period need to be empowered by it. They need to be empowered by, to me, and I tweet this a lot, and I Instagram a lot, they are our superheroes. It's not about capes, and it's not about superpowers. It is literally about the spirit and how they literally face death, because as we know from Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman, they were never to be seen or heard from again. And we know they didn't make it, and all that they were doing were trying to sign people up and register folks to vote. So anything could have happened to these young people who sat in, from SNCC to the Greensboro 4 to the Friendship 9. Any of them could have disappeared, and they put their lives on the line so that we can walk into a Starbucks
Wow.
and just order coffee. Just order a piece of pie. Just be treated like human beings. Those are my superheroes. And I said, why we gotta share the story of my superheroes. And that's just the way I've always felt about them. So I had to do it. And, you know, I'm just gonna keep growing as a director and growing as a producer and as a writer, just gonna keep growing and keep telling us our stories. But I will tell our stories to anybody who will listen. I talk to young people all the time. And I'm like, when's the last time you read a book on your people? and not be ashamed. Well, they did this and they didn't do that. I said, you have got to be proud. They walked into schools and were spat upon and had to be escorted by the armed forces just to integrate a school for you. And you won't even go to school?
Won't even vote either.
Won't vote either.
And that was the problem this year. Or last year.
Exactly.
I'm just like, it's
I'd much rather have. I'm sorry to get political, but we have to. Like,
A little bit,
I'd
yeah.
rather take Hillary over Trump.
I really
Like,
would.
I hate when people keep saying, "Man, it's a double-edged sword." Man,
No.
we would not be going through this
Yes.
right now had we gotten Hillary. I know that for a fact.
We've been cool with North Korea. We've been fine.
I can't
Now,
believe people
you
say
know
that.
What? I know how you feel, and I get it, but I also understand what's happening right now. This is a wake-up call, because we were coasting.
Yeah.
We were coasting. We were asleep.
Everybody want to be woke.
We were,
Okay, dear white people.
we were asleep.
Okay, dear white people.
Yes.
Right.
We were asleep. We were coasting, and
out
we
Justice
were in
Simeon.
some self-induced comas.
Yeah.
And now it is time for us to activate.
It really
So,
is.
We got no choice. And,
Yes.
and to all those people that are like, man, I'm tired of seeing my black folks get beaten up on screen. I'm like, well, that's our history.
Yes, it
and if
is.
you gotta be able to watch that on the screen, because that's our reality.
It is.
You know, and if you can't get to grips with the fact that this is what happened to your people, then I don't know what to say to the black folks, black millennials of 2017. Because I mean, I
You're
watch
a millennial.
Roots. I mean, I'm a millennial, but I'm a different type of millennial.
Okay,
I'm a
that's
different
true.
type of millennial.
I'm with you.
know,
I
like,
feel like I'm a different type of millennial.
I feel like
Okay.
that because the way my mom raised me, she beat this history
Yeah.
in me.
Yes, she did.
Not literally,
Yeah.
but like
She's a
spiritually,
strong
mentally.
black
She's a
woman.
strong black independent female who taught me about my history. And I feel like there are a group of people that are ignorant to knowing what took place. You know, they're trying to pass a bill so that we only get a page of what happened in slavery
Right.
in the history books. That's ridiculous. Man, I remember I had a 5th grade teacher, Miss Mann. She's
going back to 5th grade.
5th
y'all.
grade, I'm telling you. But I went to like a small, like little charter Korean school. So I went with a bunch of Koreans. So I was like the only black kid in there. And I had a South African teacher. She went through the apartheid and everything. And I remember Black History Month, the first day of Black History Month, February 1st. See, February 1st keeps coming up.
Yes, it
She made us watch Amistad. And she
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
we didn't even have to write permission slips or anything. She was like, well, y'all gonna watch this today. You gonna get this history lesson today, and y'all know what happened.
All right.
So, you know, yeah, I think like it's important for us to know our history, and
It is
again,
important.
this is
and
the
to be
beginning.
empowered by it.
Exactly.
It's not be empowered by the information. Don't feel powerless. Because you do have a power. There's power in our numbers. There's power in our spirit. There's power in marching and protesting. There's power in taking your money away.
Yeah.
It's
There's
innate
power in
with
that
it, yeah.
boycotting. Real power, yes.
My African American studies teacher in college, she showed me a picture from where I'm from, like back in the 1920s. So I've never seen a picture, and it was basically blacks hanging off a bridge from my town back in the day. And
That
I was
your town.
heartbroken. I was like, I'm like, just heartbroken by it. Like I had no idea, and it was just like, wow, this actually happened before like I was even born. But like, I'm proud of where I come from. Like, so I know some people who come from my town, like say they're from a different town. It's just easier to say I'm from this place or that state. I am proud. I became a strong person because of where I come from. East St. Louis, Illinois.
There you
East
go.
St. Louis.
East St. Louis.
Okay.
So I'm
Not
like-
Missouri, Illinois.
Illinois. So we get it. It is a small blip on the map, but it is there, and that's where I'm from. And
And
it
you
made
made
me
it
a
all the way up
strong.
to LA.
I did.
That's right.
I had big goals.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So I think we definitely like need to be more empowered by it, and like to like remember to still dream. There's nothing wrong with having a dream anymore.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Having a dream and then acting on it.
Right.
That's
Because
incredible.
dreams are just dreams unless you act on them.
Unless you act on them.
Yeah.
We just need more of us with them and know that they're accessible. The problem is we got these small hubs and communities from Chicago, which is the most segregated city in the country, and you'd be surprised how many guys haven't left the neighborhood or the block.
Wow.
You know, is designed a certain way, and it's up to us. The only reason we do this here is to have influence, so they listen.
Exactly.
It's the only reason it's for. It's not for fame.
Right.
That's relative. That's for other people. But for us, it's a platform so they can have an idea what is. Oh, you made it. I can do that. You just like me. You know, because if I hate when people say, why is there so many drug dealers and gangbangers? I said, well, because we didn't grow up around doctors and lawyers. And so if I grew up around that, 9 times out of 10 we'll be that.
Yeah.
But if you surround me with dirt, I'm probably get filthy. But you know, you can't talk. I hate when people try to comment on a culture that's not from the culture.
Right.
It's offensive. Because it's like, I don't tell you about your Jewish experience. I don't tell you about your Irish experience. I don't tell you. Don't try to tell me, oh, it's bad. How bad is this? Okay, we'll take this. It's bad over here, and it's bad on this side as well. We're getting it from both sides.
Right.
We're getting it from the people that's mandated to protect and serve, and we're getting it from the ones that look like us.
Right.
It's a balancing act that we have to do every single day.
Yeah.
And because in our culture, it feels like it's not enough room. We have this messed up idea that there's not enough room at the top, when there's so much room.
Yes.
So much, especially if you dig down below yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
And we fight down here because it's crowded. You see what I'm saying? And the thing is, the higher we get, but in my humble opinion, get settled to where if they try to push you, you don't fall too far. Get settled, then stop the next person from the potholes that's next. You know what I mean? It's a tricky game, and we born into it.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
That's why certain people look at you like, how did you get here? Because you started off -20. How did you make it? How did you make
I had
it?
that
You know what I'm
growing
saying?
up when I would go to a different town, and they're like, because I talked really proper, only because I just hated being seen
You talk white.
as black. Like,
Yeah.
basically, so you're not talking more proper. Like, I have, like, obviously, like, have some
You're
sense, but I'm
educated.
just like, educated.
That's all.
And they're like, how did you do that? Like, you're from there? Like, I can't be educated because of where I'm from?
Yeah, it's just ignorance.
That just doesn't sound right to
It's
me.
just ignorance, you know. But it's our job to change that and say it's more of us out here than you think. And honestly, the truth be told,
There is.
look at the people who have positions in any industry. I guarantee they probably from a place where you're like, how the hell you make it? Because that's how powerful we are.
It is.
A lot of us don't have a blueprint or a manual, but we still find a way to make it. Just imagine if you gave us a book. What? You know, what we fighting for now is power. We fighting for power.
Correct.
That's all it's about. It's power.
And media is a very important form of power, which
Yeah.
is why we're telling the story of the counter. You know, like people forget, man. When you see yourself on TV, like, and I'm not talking about when I see myself on TV. When I see like black folks on TV,
Yes.
it just makes it solidifies that we're not invisible.
Right.
Yes.
You know, that's why it's important that we have. We were just having this conversation in the car driving up here. It's like count how many black leads are on TV right now. Black male leads. Think about it.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Think about it.
I
Right.
was thinking of female leads.
Right.
But
Exactly. But now let's think about male leads.
Tough.
Now I'm not talking about Omari Hardwick. How do you say?
Hardwick.
Hardwick. Sorry. I'm not talking about Terrence Howard. I'm not talking and who else?
Yeah.
Who else do we got?
Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, we
Marlon Wayans.
Marlon.
Just got him.
We
We
just
just
got
got
him.
him. We just got him. So
Nice.
shout out to
Press.
Marlon Wayans.
Yes.
Because it was an era that came up where you saw a lot of
My
it.
era.
See, you see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
there
I
you
But
go.
now
know you
it's-
grew up on In Living Color. You grew up on the
See what I'm
Wayans
saying?
brothers.
Oh no! I grew up on Hill Street
Blues.
History Blues.
I
Right.
Yes, I grew up on the Mod Squad. I grew up
Yeah.
on I Spy.
Yeah,
I
you
grew
see what
up
I'm saying?
on
You had
yes.
So you had that.
I grew up on
Significant.
Pam Grier. I grew
Woo.
up on
Talk to me.
Tamara Dobson.
Talk to me.
I
Richard
grew up
Roundtree.
on Richard
Talk to
Harry
me.
Roundtree.
Belafonte.
Richard Pryor. Hold
Talk
on.
to me.
Serial.
Yes.
Now,
Get Christy Love.
see what I'm
Oh
saying?
yes.
So now it's a big gap.
Yeah.
But it's a lot at play here. We know to go without saying, but it's like, what is happening? So you have a lot of young kids guessing.
They are guessing.
They guessing.
Yeah.
You want me to guess? It's dark. I'm just like I'm just feeling for the answer. Like,
Right.
how do I do this? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And and there are some black male lead. Like, you know, we got Luke Cage, and you know, shout out to Jay Ellis on Insecure.
My man.
Yes.
But I mean, where are the brothers?
Oh, what
Yeah.
about This Is Us? But I forget his name.
Sterling.
Sterling.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sterling Brown.
See, but you see how you gotta be like,
Searching
Mm-hmm.
for it.
oh, okay, that's one. Like you
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
catch a
but
firefly
yeah.
or something. Like, you know what I
Those
mean?
are hard to
Like,
catch,
We're
man.
looking for the balance.
Yeah.
We're looking
Yeah.
for, and one of the things that was very important to me. Okay, so we just had a commercial that came out for Procter and Gamble, and it became a huge issue because it was about the talk to your children, but it was all women talking to their children. There were no men.
Right.
So it's about a mother talking to her little girl, and she says, "You're beautiful, period," not just for a black girl. Or one little girl is sitting with her mom in the car saying, "I'll be okay, right?" Like, she said, when you get pulled over, she's like, "No, Mom, I'm a good driver. I'm going to be okay." And then she had to think about Sandra Bland, and she was like, right? And it was the talk, and it was moms. And a lot of the men were very upset about it because the men were not involved. And I totally get it. I got my talk from my dad. My parents have been married for 56 years. I'm thankful.
up.
But
Beautiful.
there's also a situation where the fathers are out of the picture. And now, unfortunately, because of that, when a lot of these young people are writing scripts, or they leave the dads out because maybe they were not raised with fathers.
Right. I kind of fell into that trap too, because right now I'm doing a web series, turn into an actual TV show, air the series, check it out. And as I was writing with my team, with Nasir and my homegirl Chris and Dom, we wrote like 8 episodes, but then we realized, wait, we're missing our dads in this. We're like, it is important that we include our fathers into this piece, because we don't want to fall into that stereotype that black folks weren't raised by their fathers. So again, goes back to my point, how important media is and how much representation is on TV. Because there's so much content out there, man. We got Hulu, we got Netflix, we got Amazon,
Yes, YouTube Red.
and we got YouTube.
Yes, yes.
Facebook
Now
now.
YouTube.
Facebook now. Facebook
Yeah,
now.
Facebook too.
Yeah, Facebook now.
You know, and Apple.
Facebook
Yeah.
now.
And
Yeah.
Apple.
Oh, Apple just like
Yeah.
See, we going down the
$1 billion
list.
TV series.
So you can't tell me that you can't find
It's important.
some black folks, some new fresh faces to get on the screen.
And
And
we
oh, sorry.
No, I'm okay. I was just gonna say, and we have to, as a culture, try not to separate a black experience and just know it's an experience.
Right.
It's a human experience. Just because you don't know, like I remember back in the day, the Cosby Show, which
Yes.
is one of my favorites.
Yes.
August, I love August Wilson. August Wilson is
That was my
amazing.
life.
August Wilson, the 10-play cycle, did a couple of them. Awesome playwright, Shakespeare in a sense. He made a comment though, and I know this is blasphemous what I'm gonna say, but he made a comment and said, "I don't think Bill Cosby." I'm misquoting him, or maybe misquoting him. He said, "That's not a real black experience." And I was
That
like,
was my experience.
I was like,
Right?
whoa.
I was
like,
having that.
I was like, why wouldn't that be? What are you talking
Because
about?
we're
Like, that's-
people forget that we're multi-dimensional.
yeah,
You know, like
don't
we're not
fall
just
into
one
the trap
experience.
of
Right.
Right.
the ghetto, so to speak,
Right.
or good times, so to speak.
I had a little bit
You
of
know what I'm
James
saying?
Evans
And
and a little bit of Bill Cosby.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like I think it's room
Yes.
for everything. You know what I'm saying? I think I think it's room for everything, because especially now, everybody's having different experiences coming up
Yeah.
because we're allotted a little different, more opportunities.
Right.
And to speak on the father thing, to me, it seems I'm a conspiracy theorist sometimes on the weekends mostly, and it's like, and so to know that our generation is lacking when she was coming up, but notice back then that's when they started to strip the fathers away from the family,
Yes.
because back then, if you're on 8 or something like that, the father
Yes,
wasn't
the
allowed
father
in
was
the
not
home.
allowed. Claudine, one of my favorite films.
See what I'm saying? So
James Earl Jones.
we came up under that.
Right.
So of course our experience.
We're a product of that.
We're a product of that.
Yes.
So it's showing in the work.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, not to sound all, but it's
Yes.
It's making
oh no,
sense
there was a divide and conquer that was happening. The women were getting paid more, or if they were in charge, you can't have a man in the home, but we will give you aid. And that kept the fathers from being in the home while the mothers and children received aid. And one of the things that I did in my film specifically, Jerrod's character has parents, a mother and a father. Ashley has a single dad.
Yeah.
And that is specific because I was raised with a father, and for me, fathers are just as important. And especially for young girls, fathers are important. Girls will look for their father in every man if
That
they're
is
not raised with them.
Definitely true. I said that to somebody once. I was like, I would be happy if I found my father in anybody, because my dad was a carpenter, the cook, the mechanic, the plumber. Please, Lord, that's what you can say.
And on top of that, like even if you didn't have a father like that, you have those images to inspire you. Like everybody wished they had an Uncle Phil. You know? Everybody. First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. You know? Man, shout out James Avery, man. Rest in peace, man.
Yes, exactly.
You know, so I mean, even if you didn't have that experience, you know, the TV was give you an opportunity to just, man, I wish I had that life. You know, it gave you motivation, you know, and that's what I love about sitcoms, black sitcoms from the 90s, man, is because it was like a sort of an escape, you know? But even more of an escape, it gave you an opportunity to be like, man, I could be like him. You know, that's what I love about sitcoms.
It's aspirational.
Man. Aspirational.
And I remember
That's the
one
word I was
young
looking
lady
for.
that got up on Oprah Winfrey's show when her show was on the air, and she actually had the whole family from the Cosby Show on, and the young lady got up and she said, you know what, I was raised without a father, but you were my dad, and you were my brother, and you were my sister, and Claire Huxtable, you were my mom. And that's how she literally got herself into school. She decided to go to Princeton because the oldest daughter she got into Princeton. Yes, so I was really in awe of
That's
watching
what I love
that episode.
about this business, though, especially when you did grow up in the 90s. You had fathers like Ray Campbell. You had a Frank Mitchell. You had an Uncle Phil. You had the Cosby. Like, if you weren't raised that way, you could just look at these fathers and by their example, and you can gain something. That's what I loved about television.
And they talk about those issues. Fresh Prince, one of my favorite episodes. With his pops.
You wasn't there, man. Oh, man. That was the first time I ever cried watching a black sitcom.
I challenge any, definitely a black man, any man to watch the episode and not shed a tear. I dare you. I bet the house on it that you're gonna at least shed a tear.
Oh man.
And it was like, that was some, like, I've cried like repeatedly when I watch it, because it's just like heartbreaking.
It's like, why they don't want me, man? Why you don't want me?
Because people have said that before. I've heard some of my friends, and I'm just like,
those are real conversations.
Ben Vereen,
Ben
Vereen.
It
just happened. I'll never forget that.
He said, "You a better man than me." They would at it.
Y'all are gonna make me cry.
not yet.
I mean, but you'd be amazed how many times I would, when I'm growing up, and I'd be in the supermarket with my mom, and you know, people just flip out when they see her, like, man, like, you were the mom that I never had, and I never even really internalize what that meant to people who would watch her on TV, you know, because again, it was an aspirational experience to watch these black families on TV. My D being a principal at a high school
in Jamaica,
you know,
I loved it.
and she incorporated her own roots, her own culture into that character, you know, and to see how even to today, you know, that still, those reruns, they still mean something to people. It's a trip.
Meaningful.
It's a trip.
I'm glad we're in this
I want them
business.
to release on DVD.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
Shout out, hopefully, if you're listening, release on DVD.
At least go to Netflix, get it to Netflix.
Right, you did Different
something.
World. Please add it to Netflix.
They need to
Oh
add
my
some more
goodness.
black sitcoms to Netflix. For real.
Speaking of history, Twinkie though, to know that we around someone who's connected to both.
To both ends of the spectrum.
Both ends, that's rare.
Without
You
a
know,
doubt.
to be in that fight that long and to see the paradigm, the shifts and things like that. is crazy. It's insane. I don't know. She doesn't know it, obviously, because she's in it.
Right.
But it's an honor for us to be here with
Without a
you.
doubt.
It really is.
Definitely.
I appreciate you
I'm so
guys.
happy.
No, I am thankful to be embraced by and to have come from that and to get here with you guys and still be relevant, because a lot of people, you know, have fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
I get to learn from Jerrod and his gift, Etienne and his talent. Like, I get to learn from Ashley making it bigger. She's like, no, let's make it bigger. I get to learn from these young people too, and I'll never forget. I don't know if you got the picture, but there was a photo of all of us right before we were about to do counter stuff, and Etienne took us through this whole, we were all in a circle. And Etienne took us through, I am an artist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That was something that I learned in college. It was the artist creed.
Yes.
And so when I did the play, we did the artist creed. I am an artist. This is my body. I
Yes.
own it. And it's being self-aware as an artist, and these aren't just lines. This is a story.
Yes.
And we are here to tell it. So I thought it was important when we were on
It was
set that
awesome.
we got in a circle and we did the artist creed to remind ourselves that this is a story that needs to be told, and we're going to do it in the best way possible.
You
Yes.
see what I'm saying? This dude right here, his spirit is just incredible.
It really is.
No, it is. It's
Oh,
incredible.
man,
When
stop
I tell
it.
him this
It's
though.
yours.
He just
oh
has
man, I get a new buddy on set that day, man.
Look, no,
That was
he's just
for
an
real.
easygoing. His talent speaks for itself. But in a world where you can let a lot of things define you, and you become boggled down and these different things, this dude remains one of the most genuine, authentic people I've encountered.
Oh man,
You know what I mean? And
Don't make me cry.
no, seriously, it was dope that Twinkie linked us, because now we hang, and I'm just like, dude, and he got a brilliant mind.
And he held my pops too,
So
and
it's
I
like-
wasn't even there.
Yeah, his pops, I guess. Let me tell you about his pops, a smooth brother.
Yes,
That's
he
a
is.
smooth brother.
Yes,
I feel like,
he
I feel like
is.
you have to be if your wife is showing
Yes,
love. Like, it just
yeah.
kind of has, like,
Yes.
it has to be like go hand in hand.
Shout out to
and
Eric
make sure-
Maurice. What's up, Daddy?
Full of wisdom. He's one of those cats that's like, he's like, he's the guy where you were like, did you read this book? He's like, why? I probably wrote it. He's that guy, meaning that he understands who he is. You know what I'm saying? And it was powerful. We had a powerful conversation, and
4th of July.
yeah, on the 4th, instead of doing things,
Instead of drinking
and all that.
We were actually having a very intellectual
Yeah,
conversation.
on the 4th of July. We standing in the backyard talking for damn near hours, man. And just about life and things to help progress you as an individual.
But this is just a testament to Twinkie's power, bringing people together.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the
Thankful.
core of all of this.
sure.
you
I'm
know?
thankful. Well, all of these actors being a part of my life and being around me, and then I'm able to bring them into a project. I just called them on the phone and talked to them about the project, because really, oh, look at the picture that's up. Oh my God.
Oh,
It's gonna be blown up. It's not just.
Oh
yet.
my
Now,
God.
black and white is crazy.
No,
Yeah.
that's a good question. Is
Shout out to the
will it
color
actually be shown
correction.
in black and white too?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Whoa.
starts out.
Now
Yeah.
that picture right there is
whoa.
like I don't like maybe it's just me like just seeing it. I kind of want to encroach on myself a little bit because that's such a reality check.
Wow.
That even the women were attacked.
Yes.
Even the
No
women.
holds bar.
Can you imagine as a black man not being able to protect your woman?
Not today.
I just.
Wow.
To not be able to protect your woman, even your women that just in your life, your friends, your
Yeah,
loved ones,
yeah.
your sister. I mean, that is some superhero stuff right there.
Yeah.
That is I don't know where we're going to end up, but we're doing this. We're going to start. They took a stand. They stood up and they sat in.
Jeez.
And that is what they did. And
Like these shots are just powerful.
I shout out to Rowena Husbands. She is my friend from New York. She is
Cool, yeah. She
yes,
cool, yeah.
she's great. She's a photographer, and she flew in. I said, I'm doing this, and she's a celebrity photographer. She's usually doing shows like Love and Hip Hop and things of that nature, on set or shooting red carpet events. And she said, I want to start doing stills for film. And I said, well, come do mine. And she did,
hell of a
and
job.
literally, these are the
gorgeous.
stills from the film that are. She took them to an event just framed a few, and people were looking at her like, wait, what year how could you have taken this?
Right.
And she was, and they're in black and white, of course, and she said, oh no, this was a month ago. I shot it a month. They're like, how? And literally, we had some
Oh wow,
of
look at that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a dope photo.
Picture.
Yeah, you found that
So
online?
I did. I found that one on Google, actually.
Yes.
And
Wow, what was that doing on Google?
Right.
I do not know, but I was happy. I'm very lucky. I'll say that.
Wow. Well, that's from the student film, so that's not from the short we shot. That's from the student film I shot in class.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, but still, a lot of the same.
man.
It is.
There was a window one I also found, but I brought the window one because it was the way that it was shot, and
A window one.
it was the way it was.
Oh, that
I'm looking
one.
through the window and like
Yes.
the mirror
That's a
image.
beautiful shot. Though.
Yes.
That's a
Just that
gorgeous-
mirror
That's from
image.
That's from
from
the
short.
that's from the student
The
film.
student film.
Yes.
That's the beautiful
Yes.
shot.
Dope shot.
Yeah. So it's almost like the ghosts of them are there. Yeah, we
it's
took that. I
amazing.
literally took that picture with my cell phone.
Really?
That's an
Did
iPhone
you?
photo.
iPhone?
Yeah.
Wow.
iPhones.
Shout out.
Shout out to the iPhone.
Literally
Amazing
took that
shot.
with my
Great.
iPhone.
Yeah.
So yeah, and shout out to my fellow students. So some of them are still in this film and others are not. So Rich Paul is there, and then that's Rick Lawson that were in the student film for me, that helped me to create this present day incarnation of the counter 1960. So that was it was amazing, and that location actually is at the golf course where my boyfriend works. My man Keith Roberts,
Shout out to Keith.
Yes,
What up, Keith?
we
Man,
love,
look
we
out for
love
us.
him.
Look out for us.
That is the diner that is in the golf course at the golf
Really?
course, and
Wow.
it is literally
It's
back in
timeless.
time. It is.
It's timeless. For real.
Really
It is, and it was an amazing place to shoot because literally you felt like you were back in time, and the tears would just roll down my face every time they used the N word. The tears were.
And the cast, I will say the cast, everybody, when it went there, Twinkie and them like, okay, let's just be quiet. Let's really dial in here. And I will say it was one of those things where I remember him.
Oh,
He
my
like,
God.
yo,
Trying to get those stunts down.
like this is insane, man.
Yeah.
Because when I did the play, it wasn't as
Yeah.
graphic. So it
You
was,
see what I'm saying? It's
so
insane.
doing that, it was like, oh,
She
crap.
did a great job of not compromising, man, and saying, hey, if we gonna tell it, we gonna tell it.
We're gonna tell it.
And every actor in there gave their heart into it.
They did.
Gave
they
their heart.
really, really
they
did.
gave their heart into it.
They really did. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
I'm so in awe of my cast because wherever I fell short, they took it and
Back up.
to the next level. I'm like, okay, wherever I don't know everything. This is my first directing thing. Like, I don't know And Jerrod was like, all right, so give us some extra minutes to get into this moment. And I'm, okay. Give extra minutes to get into this situation.
That's why she's gonna
You
be
know?
great at what she does because it's collaborative,
Yeah.
and she's a respecter of artists. She's got the great vision. So I'm a basketball guy, so she'll be like the Popovich, but you know, she's the person that, hey, okay, I know what you're good at. I'm gonna
Okay.
put you here though. I'm gonna I'm gonna put you where your strengths lie, so you can be successful in your strengths. And in that, once you become comfortable, I think is like music. Sometimes it's taken for granted because it's seamless, but it's timeless at the same time.
And Twinkie knows how to talk to her actors.
She
you know?
showed it. Yeah, she know it.
I was like, all right,
Okay, yeah.
let's do this.
She know how to, yeah.
Which is, makes the actors more receptive to really bring your character to life, because you don't want to be worrying about everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
You just want to be worrying about what's happening right here, right now.
Facts.
See, that's my Malcolm and my Martin. Right there. My Malcolm and Martin and my Diane is off working. Oh, that's the picture of me and my brother Jeff.
Yeah. Shout out to Jeff.
What up,
man.
Yes.
He's
my
so
brother
cool.
came
He's
on
so
set
cool.
and gave me some notes and some ways to shoot things, and he was showing me right there, okay, you can shoot this and get that and get,
That's
And
a great
I'm
shot.
so thankful. It is.
You got to put that in the
Yes,
crib, right?
yes.
That's a nice shot.
Yes.
That's a
'Cause,
really nice shot.
Yeah, it was like a clinic. When your brother comes to set and gives you a clinic.
I also have another photo that you did at the Blackout Hollywood, and like you're actually crying.
Oh,
And
That's me down there.
yo.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a march.
Oh.
and that day was just big for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that day like for you?
That was tough. That was a tough one. I thought I was good. I'm like, okay, we're all supposed to dress in black
Right.
and march, and it's just Hollywood, and it's Hollywood. So I didn't know.
Black Hollywood.
Yeah, Black Hollywood. So
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna go and do what I do. I was at the dentist earlier that day, and I was like, I have to get to the march. I have to get to the march,
Right.
just because of what it meant to me. But I didn't realize what it was going to turn into. It got very real very quickly. And when this brother who is laying there next to me and sister who are laying down, and he started chanting, we were chanting as we were walking, and he kept chanting, I can't breathe. And it became real to me that he literally could not breathe, and that he died on that street being strangled and not being able to breathe. And he kept chanting it, and I broke down. I broke down because my brother couldn't breathe. And it was real. It got very real for me very quickly. That's my brother, that's my sister, that is how connected that I feel, and that is how connected we truly are, because you don't know who that person was supposed to become, what they were supposed to do in this world, what was their contribution. And now it's been cut short because of your hatred and your misunderstanding and your miseducation. Because the education we get here is miseducation.
Talk to me.
Yep.
So because of all of the miseducation, we have this, and we have to march, and we have to keep marching and keep changing and using our gifts and using our platform in order to, I say my art is my heart. And that is really true. I have a heart for this, and I showcase my heart in my art.
You definitely do. Like for this film, you raised $7,000.
I did.
Which is an amazing feat, and you had all your friends like donate food.
Yes, they did.
And-
Tasha Smith donated lunch.
Shout out
Gil
to Tasha.
Robinson.
Gil
Yeah.
Robinson donated
There
lunch.
you go, Africa.
Yes, Africa donated lunch. Yeah, they donated $300 a pop to feed the cast and crew. We didn't have garbage food. We had food, substantial lunch. So hot lunch. So I was really glad about that. I'm thankful for my relationships, and I still have to put more of my own money into this project to finish it. But shout out to my producer, Kim Ogletree, pulling this together along with NYFA, New York Film Academy
Shout out
students.
to NYFA. Yeah, shout out to them.
Yes, and Leander Sales, who is also the editor, and he's a teacher at NYFA as well. So NYFA really helped us pull this together and shoot it. So it's almost done, and my focus is submitting it to Sundance
That's what's up.
Yes.
and see where it goes from there. And then after Sundance says yes,
Yeah.
then submitting it
Put it
to
out
some
there in
more
the
film
universe, baby.
festivals.
Yeah.
That's right.
Always
But
in the universe.
it's going to the film festivals, and there'll be more talks like this, and hopefully more conversations, and more of the generations
Yeah.
will cross
Come
and
together,
mix
yeah.
and converse about it.
Yeah.
Because some of the people that have watched some clips from it, the grown folks were telling the young folks, well, one of the young ladies said, well, why, we have a piece in there where a young lady just breaks out into song, and they like, well, why is she singing? And the old folks were like, honey, because that's what we used to do.
See, yeah.
We would sing when we were protesting, we were walking, and we were marching, and they were like, you did? And then
See, yeah.
all of that started to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
Blossoms into a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's
We need
all I
more
want to do.
conversations.
Need
More
more.
conversations.
So this is gonna be the first in a series.
Yeah.
So
what's up.
can you at least tell us what might be next?
Well, I'm hoping for more of our stories. So more of, my prayer is I really want to pull together 9 of you to do Little Rock. I want them to go back in time in Little Rock.
Sheesh.
That's still. I just remember that one.
Sheesh.
I just want to keep having groups, because what happens is I originally wanted to do the Greensboro 4.
Right.
That's the story I originally wanted to tell. And I kept hearing young people say, well, if I was back there, I would have done this. And if I was there, I would have done that.
But you
And
I have no idea. I have no
let's
idea.
be real.
I have no
but
idea.
you wouldn't. And I think it really is a miseducation though, because I mean, if you went back with the knowledge you have now, you could get yourself hurt because they're not going to believe you.
Yeah.
And two, you just can't be talking to people like that in the 60s.
no.
It just can't. It just is not a thing that can happen.
That's because we are a little. Not say this slightly. Not say this word. Privileged.
Yeah.
In a sense of how we're brought up. A lot of us, our parents work so hard to keep us away from danger
Yeah.
that a lot of us are
afraid of it.
and misinterpret what we see. We think like, I would never, and it's like, you have no idea.
No
I
idea.
give the analogy of when you're at the zoo and the lion is behind the glass, you can be right up on it and you're comfortable.
Yes.
But let you get inside that glass
Oh my
and he
goodness.
across the way.
Yes.
It's a whole different ball
Yes.
game. You're like, okay,
All right.
it's a little different.
All right now.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes me think about that the white boys. This video's gone viral. The white boys, man, he takes off his white supremacist costume.
No, I didn't see. No.
Yeah, you haven't seen this? It's in Virginia and they're doing the protest and this white boy he has like his white supremacist costume on and then some boys they roll up on him. They run up on him and then so he takes off his shirt, takes off his hat. He's like, man, I'm sorry. It's not a game.
It's a different game.
It's not a game.
You
Especially
can't treat this
today,
like a game.
That is not a game.
He's
That
like-
game will get you hurt.
Yes.
I just want to be offensive. I like being offensive. I'm like, first of all, who likes being
Why?
offensive?
Like, well, I need to know what that stems
Why?
from personally. I really need to understand why you need to be
Yeah.
offensive.
Don't make no sense.
It doesn't.
Don't make no sense. Don't make a
So
lick of sense.
what I did then was, because of that, I said, okay, how do I tell this story? Because a lot of young people kept saying, well, I don't want to see stories about our history. I'm bored with it. I'm tired. I'm tired. So I said, how do I then get them to be interested? And what I decided to do was take present day
And
merge them
Okay.
and take them to the past and then bring them back and see what's different. And in that conversation, see what happens with that. And we're gonna see what happens with that and with these young people. But I would love to do Ruby, and she's still alive. She's still with us.
Ruby Bridges.
So I would love to do specifically young people and taking them back. And so that's kind of like my focus with this. This is just the beginning. And
Maybe you're gonna do your own version of Detroit.
yes, yes, because we
don't get
needed
me
a black
started.
woman to direct.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys
black-
don't like Detroit?
It just
Oh, that's all. That's what.
Yeah.
No,
That's
this is another conversation. We'll save it for another day.
conversation.
deal with y'all.
Well,
Yes.
we can't wait to see this at Sundance. I'm
Thank
calling
you.
it. We can't wait to see this in film festivals. But unfortunately, guys, we're done today. But follow her on Instagram. Like she's so inspirational.
Oh,
it is
thank
not a
you.
joke.
Hashtag the counter 1960.
Hashtag the counter 1960.
And I'd love to shout out the family and the Greensboro Four: Joseph McNeil, Franklin McCain, Ezell Blair Jr., and David Richmond. Just know your history, young people. Get that lesson. Google it, learn about it, and grow.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us today. Again, I am Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram. You guys want to tell them your name and where they can find you?
Yes, I am Twinkie Byrd on Instagram and Twinkie_Byrd on Twitter.
There you go. Etienne Maurice. You can find me on Instagram. Walk Good Etienne. Walk Good ETIENNE. And on Twitter, you can find me on eTweetHome. It's like a play on E-T. Yeah, there you go.
I'm Jerrod Haynes. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. Jerrod Haynes. That's JEROD HAYNES. And Instagram, Jerrod J. Haynes. And thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
See you. Peace, y'all.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.